So now our grand total is What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I've been getting a lot of questions lately on Facebook forums and YouTube comments about the cost of wide bodying Corvette, specifically in my case a C6 Corvette. Now, I've done a lot of research on this before wide bodying. I've asked a lot of kind of like famous cars out there on Instagram how much it cost them, and the prices were insane. I talked to a guy who has a ZR8X kit, which it is a much better kit, but he told me that he spent about $13,000 between getting the kit, getting it painted, installed, wheel fitment. I've probably accomplished that in a way lower value. So I'm going to give you guys that breakdown. But first, as you can see, the car is not here. It's getting alignment. My alignment was really out of whack. So we're going to go pick it up. There's a couple things I got to adjust on it. I'll show you guys. And then at the end of the video, I'll give you guys the complete price breakdown. I'll include links to all the parts that I got in the description. So anyone who's interested in doing this on their C6 Corvette, stay tuned. Here. Got the car aligned. Let's get inside first. Yeah, so the guy told me that it was like one of the worst alignments he ever seen. Aside from this being a whole different suspension setup, if you guys remember, one of my neighbors backed into this car, which is what triggered this whole wide body build. And I was pretty sure, because my alignment was so bad, that my control arms are bad somewhere, but the more I stared at them, and actually had backup ones too, but the more I stared at them, they all look fine. So yeah, I brought them in and the guys messed with it for a while. They had to go into overtime. They charged me a little bit more, but it was still a fair price. But yeah, they said, you know, I looked at the specs, they evened out really well. But now it's time to go home and take care of the rubbing issues in the back. I think I'm gonna have to take off the wheels, cut off some more fender liner, and then we actually got lowering bolts in that I'm gonna install real quick and maybe heighten the car by like ½ an inch. It pains me to do so because I love when that slam look, you know, no fender gap or anything, but it's what we got to do to make this kit work. So let's get home and do that. This is my favorite spot in my neighborhood. Ready? Oh man. But yeah, the car drives nice and straight now. Doesn't pull to any of the sides. Did start misfiring a little bit and a check engine light turned on. So I'm a little worried about that. It wasn't there when we started the project, so I think it's something to do with, you know, when the car was getting fixed while it was in the garage for 2 months. I have a feeling that it's the MAF sensor. It hasn't been changed in a while, and the intake that we're running could probably let some more dirt in there than it has to. So I'm going to try to clean the MAF. First we're going to scan the code and see what's up. But yeah, the car drives so much better now because, like I said, this alignment was terrible. Problem one solved. Now let's get rid of that stupid rubbing because I'm scared to go fast right now. Just in time for me to start working. I just ran out of gloves and Amazon just delivered them. Shout out to them for that. So yeah, started jacking up the car. We're gonna remove the 2 rear wheels, cut some stuff away, install those lowering bolts that I told you guys about. Alright, so I was just about to bust out my angle grinder, but turns out a blade like this cuts through plastic much easier. All this time I was pretty much melting it with the angle grinder. A little blade worked much better. So we took out this piece because behind it is really just more fiberglass. That doesn't really need to be protected. So I think we got back, I don't know, like almost an inch of clearance, and then some of this stuff was just like sticking out a lot when you're driving, so like the wind would take it back and it would rub against the tires. So I might just cut some of this off as well. And then aside from that inch, which obviously is not going to fix our problems fully, I'm also going to install those bolts, which go right in between here where my hand is, and kind of hold the spring a little bit higher, which then makes the suspension a little higher too. I'm going to set it to its lowest setting, which will leave about this much space in between, and it should give us some more clearance, and hopefully that solves our ride height issues. If that doesn't, we're gonna have to go with a 30 profile tire instead of the 35, which are pretty beefy, and I like that a lot. I'm just gonna mess around with it and see. So I'm just gonna repeat the same process on the other side and get installing our lowering bolts. Well, like with all things, it's never that simple. So basically the threads where that lowering bolt goes into, they're all screwed up on my car. You have to replace the whole spring for them to be fine. But I really just need a really small piece, like, you know, like about an inch in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this bolt right here and just screw it in there a little bit. And it's about time that I get one of these better grinders. That little cutting wheel was not gonna cut it. So I'm gonna use this thing right now to cut off the bolt, put it in there, do the other wheel, put the wheels back on, and then we'll get to the part of why you guys are actually watching this video. So let's do that real quick. Alright guys, it's beautiful sunset after rain all day. By the way, those of you guys have been watching, I installed these transition pieces instead of the canards. I think it ties it in perfectly. The rear end is going to drop a lot, like I always say, but just for you to get an idea, for you guys watching the first time, this wide body, I mean the body used to end where this crease is, so you can kind of tell how much wider the car has gotten from here. Definitely need something up front, and then same thing back here. This is where the body's end, where this crease is, and now the wheels come out so much more. Again, it's going to lower a lot once we go on the drive right now, and once we go on the drive, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of the cost of wide bodying a C6. All right guys, I apologize, it's dark outside, so I'm actually going to have the phone flashlight on. Alright guys, I had to pull it back inside because you really couldn't see much inside of the car. It was kind of hard to record. But I'm finally going to give you guys a breakdown of how much this whole process has cost me. As I mentioned before, asking other people around, people spend anywhere between $8,000 and I heard even $13,000. This car right up here is what inspired me to do this build, and I asked the guy personally, and he told me that he spent $13,000 on that whole process. Obviously his looks a bit better than mine, but for the price that I got mine, it's close enough for me, and I'm really happy for that. As a matter of fact, $13,000 is more than we spent on this whole car and the wide body kit. So how much does this all cost, right? So the wide body kit I found on eBay, it was $1,040. They had a best offer slot, and I offered them $940. They accepted it. The kit came in about a week later, and there was a little chip on it. I let them know, not expecting them to do much about it, because they do mention that these kits are handmade and there's going to be some imperfections. But regardless, they still refunded me an extra $100 for the extra work that's going to have to be done. So basically, I got all 4 panels and the little transition pieces for $840, which is a great start. Next came the wheels. I found these wheels on Facebook Marketplace. A guy was selling them for $800 with pretty much brand new tires, which I'm still using right now. So wheels were $800. The next part was the painting and the prepping. Now Because these things are handmade, they do require more fiberglass prep work, and this is the part that I like to leave to the professionals. So this is the most expensive part, and I paid $1,200 to get this panels all smoothened out, painted, and everything that goes along with that. Next thing, for these wheels, they still weren't wide enough, even though they are pretty aggressive. I did have to buy two sets of 2-inch spacers. They're hub centric, they're good quality off eBay. They were $50 for 2 pairs, so $100 for spacers. Once we got the kit installed, we needed to fill out the wheel well with something, and I bought this material from Amazon for 20 bucks. We cut it up and kind of made it fit perfectly. It's been holding up so far so good as we were driving it and keeping all our electronics nice and safe and dry. But then little things like the blue Lugnuts on the wheels that you see, they were 20 bucks. So the total of all of that came out to be $2,980. But we still had our old wheels that we sold for $800, which kind of canceled out. So minus 800, that's $1,180. And I did sell one of the panels, and I still have 3 more OEM panels that I'm going to be selling. And I already sold one for $180. So now our grand total is $2,000 and more parts that we could sell and get more money back. So far, the way it sits, we spent $2,000 on this whole conversion. And I'll give you a hint, the insurance payout for that little damage we had was more than that. So for me, it pretty much came out to be free, except my time that I had to do working on this car, which for me is a hobby, and I enjoy making these videos and let you guys watch them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. $2,000 is all we spent on this kit. A lot better than $8,000 or $13,000. This car is a head turner so far. I've had a lot of people already ask me questions about it and how I accomplished this, which is really easy. So if you have a C6, I encourage you guys, if you're interested, it's really not that hard to do. As long as you have maybe a backup car that you could drive around in the meantime. That's it for this episode, guys. Shout out to all my subscribers who've been watching and following along this process. I really appreciate it. Never expected anyone to actually want to watch this, but you guys do, and I love that. I'd like to also give a shout out to one of my good friends, Oleg, at Northern Motors YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. He's got everything from wide body WRX builds to his high horsepower Evo, to truck stuff, to cafe racer, motorcycle stuff. So we're probably gonna do a collab in the near future. I think some of you guys will enjoy his content as well. So check him out. Again, guys, thank you for coming on this journey with me. Stay tuned for some awesome content regarding some power upgrades for this car. We're probably gonna install a cam on it in the near future and really take the power up. Once again, guys, thank you for watching. Peace.